case you missed it, Elon Musk on X replying to a big announcement. Quote, they don't actually have the money. This was in response to an announcement from Closed AI, a brazenly fraudulent company, at least according to their mission statement versus their reality. Allegedly once open source, not for profit, now closed source and for profit. Oops. Announcing the Stargate project. Let's read their post. Quote, the Stargate project is a new company which intends to invest $500 billion over the next 4 years building new AI infrastructure for OpenAI in the United States. We will begin deploying $100 billion immediately. We have confirmation from the Microsoft CEO that Microsoft is, quote, good for $80 billion. The wording here, quite important. There's an intention to invest $500 billion over a 4-year period, not a guarantee, and only $100 billion being deployed immediately. Only $100 billion. I mean, what fucking world do we live in where I'm saying only $100 billion and the world is AI? This just goes to show the scale, the seriousness of the AI opportunity. $100 billion immediately. And this is just for the underlying infrastructure. The actual technology that we built upon this is where the real value is unlocked. So back to Musk's comment. This is not an unreasonable thing to say if you know how to use a calculator, look at balance sheets, or happen to have friends in high places who can share some details. Musk adding, SoftBank has well under $10 billion secured. I have that on good authority, so I guess we could translate this post to funding not secured. I don't know why this would surprise many people though. My expectation when I first heard about this project is everyone involved is going to have to raise a fuck ton of capital, right? You don't need to be a rocket scientist, right? How many companies can you name off the top of your head that have $100 billion of cash just sitting around that they'd be willing to invest in a project like this? Almost zero. And that money's got to come from somewhere. It is worth thinking though, what could happen over the next 4 years? Could a faster moving company or project fly out of the gates, overtake Stargate, and then siphon off some of this potential $500 billion of future expenditure from these investors? Are there any AI companies today that we're seeing move at a much faster rate than OpenAI? Because 4 years is a long fucking time, especially in this AI world. But wait, there's more. Somebody reposts Sam Altman, also more accurately known as Scam Conman, who in 2022 wrote, "You cannot out-accelerate me." This was a reference to this new project. Elon responds, "It's fake." Them's fighting words. And unless you have rocks in your head or an extremely broken radar, you got to understand that Scam Altman is not a man who can be trusted. He has a history of deception done without batting an eyelid. If I didn't know any better, I'd say there's a pretty damn good chance this guy is a psychopath. And I don't mean that in a derogatory sense. I just mean that's an accurate description. A guy who's able to lie so brazenly without batting an eyelid, without flinching, without giving any real tells. In case you guys missed it, this was back in 2023. Just a few months, and I mean literally 4 months, before this, OpenAI to remove non-profit control and give Sam Altman equity. Wait, hang on a second. I'm just going to read this again. Okay, OpenAI to remove non-profit control and give Sam Altman equity. Again, quick summary here. CEO Sam Altman to receive equity in OpenAI for the first time. So let's hear what Scam Altman had to say about the fact that he didn't have any equity in OpenAI because he's just doing it because he loves it. A few months before news that he will in fact receive a juicy stake of equity in OpenAI. This of course is the same guy who orchestrated OpenAI's complete inversion from open source not for profit to closed source for profit and Microsoft owning a huge chunk of the company. I mean, I just don't understand. This guy took money from investors under the guise that this was a not-for-profit and open source. It's become the literal antithesis of what it was supposed to be. So let's see what Scam Altman had to say. Again, mere months before it was announced that OpenAI will, quote, restructure and Sam Altman will magically end up with a big slice of the company.
You make a lot of money, do you?
No. I paid enough for health insurance. I have no equity in OpenAI.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. You need a lawyer.
I need a what?
You need a lawyer or an agent.
I'm doing this because I love it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
But how could Sam possibly have known in the future OpenAI would restructure and he'd have a huge slice of equity? Of course, Sam could certainly demonstrate the truth in his statement about the fact that he was just doing it because he loved it. Plus, I mean, the guy's already independently wealthy. He doesn't need the money. If he were to decline the equity stake after the restructure, I mean, he could certainly do that. But will he? Now, back to this deal. Check this out from Gavin Baker. You might have seen recently on the All In Pod. Great guest appearance. Stargate is a great name, but the $500 billion is a ridiculous number, and no one should take it seriously unless SoftBank is going to sell all of their Baba, as in Alibaba stock, and their ARM stock. Gavin goes on to point out that SoftBank has $38 billion in cash. Obviously, not quite the $500 billion total commitment we've heard about. But remember, Microsoft's good for $80 billion, so we only need to come up with another, wait for it, $420 billion. Imagine that. SoftBank also has $142 billion in debt and generates about $3 billion in free cash flow. So, not exactly able to pull $500 billion out of a hat. They own $143 billion in ARM stock and $18 billion in Alibaba stock. And Gavin also points out, quite logically, that if they start selling ARM stock, their stake will be worth much less very quickly. Obviously, you sell a huge amount of stock, the actual value of the stock dives as you're selling. Another partner involved, Oracle, has $11 billion in cash, $88 billion in debt, and generates $10 billion in free cash flow. OpenAI is burning cash. MGX did not commit to a number and is a $100 billion fund, so maybe 10% of the fund goes into this in the best case, which would be $10 billion. Nvidia will limit how much they invest in any one model company, maybe $5 billion, Gavin estimates. So, barring the aforementioned SoftBank ARM sale, might be able to put together another $50 billion in equity funding over several years, and can obviously finance the GPUs and put debt on the joint venture. Gavin then goes on. Nowhere close to $500 billion. Everyone should just start issuing press releases for $1 trillion AI projects. But wait, there's more. By the way, love it that the ticker MGX, which is also a biotech company, is up 33% on this. Ready? If you are a professional investor or analyst and you took the $500 billion at face value, or even worse, wrote a note about this, you should resign in disgrace. So, look, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer here. The more AI investment, the better. But Gavin does kind of have a point here, which is they ain't got close to the money. And in order for them to conjure up even a fraction of this $500 billion, some extreme measures would need to be taken, like dumping huge stakes in major investments. Ain't going to happen unless, and this was always my sort of assumption, they raise absolutely colossal amounts of capital over the next 4 years for this project. And there's probably going to be willing investors out there, but this is truly an absurd. I mean, this is $500 billion. So I think Gavin's opening salvo really summed it up here. Stargate is a great name, but the $500 billion is a ridiculous number, and no one should take it seriously. Now, all of this said, even if it's just $100 billion investment over the next year or so, that's still an incredible investment, just showing the huge opportunity that AI represents. People, companies willing to throw crazy money at it. And remember, it's not actually the infrastructure and the hardware for AI, training, compute, data centers, all this. Who cares? That's literally just the foundation upon which the actual value is created through technology. For example, humanoid robots, autonomous vehicles. That's where we get to these decatrillion-dollar opportunities. Perhaps an analogy. The internet has enabled trillions of dollars of value creation. But the hardware sales of computers, modems, Wi-Fi adapters, that's not where the big money has been made. The big money has been made not from the infrastructure that enables people to connect to the internet, but the actual products, platforms, websites, services built on top of the internet. So whether it's 100 billion, 200 billion, 500 billion, who cares? Every time you hear about major investments in AI infrastructure and hardware, training, compute, data centers, this kind of shit, just remember that whatever amount is invested in this infrastructure will be just a fraction of the actual value created on top with the actual AI applications themselves. Want more content? Early access? Bunch of perks? Click the links in the pinned comment. AG1 is awesome. I've been taking it daily now for more than 3 years. It's a great way to fill in nutritional gaps. It's packed full of vitamins, minerals, and whole food source nutrients, plus has prebiotics, probiotics, and adaptogens to improve gut health, regularity, and help your body handle stress. I'm always looking for an edge to help me feel and perform my best, which is why I haven't missed a day of AG1 for more than 3 years. Just try it and see how you feel. Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR and get yourself a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs. This is what viewers of the channel had to say after trying AG1. I feel like I have a lot more energy since I started on AG1. Just got my AG1 in the mail. Legit feeling the effects after day 3. 3 months ago, I started AG1 and have been enjoying the evenness of alertness and energy that lasts the day. I just started the wife on it too. Are you convinced yet? I mean, hey, it's worth trying, right? Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR, or I can keep going. This viewer, after about a month on AG1, definitely a lack of fatigue in the afternoon. Pleasant side effect is that my coffee intake has imploded and is almost down to 0. One more? Yeah, why not? I honestly feel younger and will be continuing to use AG1. This stuff really is crazy good. I didn't think it would be, but this stuff is awesome. It really is what everyone is saying. One more? Don't mind if I do. I've just received my 3rd month supply. I've drank it every day. I have so much energy throughout most of the day. I'm productive, started a new business, started socializing, refurbished a boat. It's no coincidence. Thank you for your persistence, your integrity, and your insights. Now look, these are not my words. These are not my testimonials. This is what you guys and girls are saying. Maybe it's 100% placebo effect. But even if that's the case, I think it's money well spent. Click the link in the pinned comment or head to drinkag1.com/SMR and get yourself a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 plus K2 and 5 travel packs.